Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great and you are following my tutorial videos on Informatica transformations and the tidbits. Today we are going to talk about the sequence generator transformation. So as a sequence generator transformation, uh, today I am going to create a mapping to show you the logic of sequence generator transformation. So I'm just creating a empty sequence generator right now. I will have to create this on my demo folder. So let me quickly create, or rather let me do one thing. Last time we all have seen this connected stored procedure transformation. So I'm going to copy this and you try to use the same example to show you the sequence generator transformation. I just dragged this on the mapping sudo folder. It is asking me whether I need to copy this. So I said yes. I want to rename this. So let me name this as sequence generator example. Say next and say finish. So now I have the sequence generator transformation available to me, and it exactly is the same what we have seen in the stored procedure transformation. Now, before I jump into the sequence generator, let's understand what the sequence generator transformation is. So let me tell you a brief background of this. So I hope this Excel is now visible to you. So first and foremost thing, sequence generator transformation is a passive and connected transformation. That means whatever number of rows which will come into this transformation, that will remain same. So it is not going to change the number of rows which is coming to this transformation, and it can only be used in the connected fashion. That means it will be a part of the pipeline. This do not have any input port, by the way, so you cannot drag and drop anything from any other input transformation or source definition back to this transformation. So it can only have two output ports, and these ports are non-editable. So we will see that this generally helps in to generate the certain sequence number which you can use in your output transformation or target, and it is absolutely same as the stack concept in programming languages. We'll see that uh, quick points where we should use this. So you should remember these points. So whenever there is a primary key available on the target and you would like to generate it via the system while each record is being processed, that time you can create the unique primary key values using a sequence generator. There could be a situation where the primary keys are missing. So there could be some gaps in the target table which you can identify or replace the missing primary keys. So that is point number 2. Whenever you go for dimensional modeling, there is a concept of fact and dimension table, and in dimension you always land up in creating surrogate keys. So this sequence generator transformation helps you to generate the surrogate key in dimension table. It also helps you to cycle through the sequential range of numbers. So it may be possible that you have to make the output in some fashion, like A1 to A100. As soon as A100 reach, you have to start from B1 to B100. So similarly, anything where you have to cycle through the sequential range of numbers, you can use this sequence generator transformation and generating the range of sequence number for any calculation or processing in the output transformation. So this is a typical usage of a sequence generator transformation. A quick example when I talk about this first point, that is generating the primary key, which is a unique key. Let's say you have a target which is having 3 columns. ID and column 1 and column 2, where ID is the primary key. If I ask you to insert some records, you will generally use these kind of values. So insert into target values, then you will put either either 1, then value 1, value 2. Again, you will put another record with 2, value 1, value 2. And the third record, you will put something like this, 3, value 1, value 2. Here in this, every insert statement, you are changing the sequence number. So if I ask you why you want to change that, so basically you can use something like this, where you can pass a variable called sequence, and this sequence internally will have an incremented value within itself. So that means this line will remain same, dollar sequence keep on changing, and that dollar sequence is nothing but the generated value by the sequence generator transformation. So this is a pretty simple example to explain the usage of sequence generator transformation. And the another thing, if I show you, sequence generator transformation by default comes with 2 ports. So if you see, if I go and create a dummy sequence generator transformation on the mapping designer, so this is the sequence generator transformation. Let's call it as test, or let me name this as seq underscore. So you can see by default this comes with 2 ports, next val and cur val. So what is the significance of these 2 things? So I have not added any port. So as I have said, if you want to drag anything to this, it will clearly say cannot copy a column to this transformation. So as I told you, you cannot put any input port to this. And if you double click on this and see the ports, you cannot even add any new port. And it comes by default with 2 ports, and both are output port. Now, what is the significance of next val and cur val? So again, let me go back to the Excel sheet. So basically, next val is, it is equal to the current value as in the transformation property for the very first time, and it uses the increment by property to decide the next value for it. So if you remember, I just created this fresh. If I double click on this and see the properties of it, you can see the current value is by default 1. So there is no value, or rather there is the current value as set as 1. So this will be the value for next val property for the very first time, and next time onward it will be current value plus the increment by value. So next time onward it becomes 2, again it will become incremented by 1, that is 3, then 4, then 5, and likewise. And that will also make sure that the current value property gets changed, and you can see the property value whenever you come back and try to see this current value property on this transformation. Cool. So again, let me go back here and talking about the second point, that is, unless this transformation is set to recycle the sequence number, it would keep on incrementing till it reaches its end value. When I say that, that means, again, come back here, see the properties. You can see if I do not check this cycle, then this current value plus incremented by value will keep on incrementing, and once it reaches this end value, then system will stop recognizing the next value for it. So this could be one of the limitation, you can say, but this is a pretty huge number which generally practically never achieves. So that is one of the significance of the value or the property significance for current value, incremented by value, end value, and cycle. Next point is this output port can be connected to multiple output transformation or target. So even if I have one single sequence generator transformation, that can be connected to multiple target or output transformations. Then the fourth point is this transformation generates a block of numbers at the time of integration service initialization. Once the block is utilized, then the transformation will generate the next block of sequence number. So just know this, because this is one of the important question which you may get at the time of interviews, or when people ask you more in detail about the next well port for the sequence generator transformation. So if I talk about one of the example, maybe you can try this out at home. If I have a sequence generator transformation which is going to push the records in two different target. When I say target, it could be an output transformation as well. And let's say since I said that this generates a block of number at a time, so that means if this is going to be in one single pipeline, so at a time it can raise two different set of or block of sequence numbers. So it can have something like 1 to 5 first time it added. So let's say this is not there. And similarly, the next block it gave for 6 to 10 for the target 2. So in that case, you will end up in having something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the target 1, and the next block which is now allocated for target 2 will get utilized by the target 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's say on the next, means this is the first block which is now utilized by the integration service, and integration service allocated the next block for target 1. So that means it will be 11 to 15, and the rest block comes for target 2, that is 16 to 20. Then it will give the values for target 1 starting from 11. So it will be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and likewise for target 2 it will be 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So this is one of the issue. This could be one of the issue, and to reduce this, what you can do is after the sequence generator transformation and before putting the values or the rows to the target, add an expression transformation which reads this values and put the value in the right order. So instead of keeping this gap, it will do the it will actually fill the right values to the two target. So this you can try out at home. I hope with this you are clear with the next val port. So we have spoken about this particular next val port right now. Now let's understand what this cur val port is. So again, coming back to the Excel sheet, cur val port, it is nothing but it is always equal to the next val port plus the increment by value. So again, if I come back to the properties, for the first time, whenever the it is nothing but the current value plus the increment by value at that particular instant. It is not going to be used for the next transaction. It is going to be used by the same transaction. So again, to explain this, let's take one example. So let's take this example one where I have the current value as 1 and increment by as 1. So this is the typical scenario which comes by default. Current val 1, increment by as 1. This means for the very first time, the next val value will become 1 and cur val become 1 plus 1, that is 2. Next time this 2 will be used for the next val, that becomes 2 become next val, 3 is the cur val. Similarly, it will go on and on and on. So this is the significance of cur val. If I do not have anything in the increment by value, which I can do by going in this properties and getting rid of this value, you can do that as well. So here you have to use some value. So let's say I used 0, which you will not be able to do. In that case, the next val become 1, cur val become 1, and it will remain 1 because if you see, cur val 1 will become the next val for the next iteration. So it will become 1 and keep on going and on and on. In this kind of scenario, you need not to use any sequence generator transformation. So let me keep this as 1 for now. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to get rid of this particular target transformation. So I'm going to use this same, but I would like to load it to a flat file. So let me name this as flat file underscore emp underscore trg. Let me say okay, next, and say finish. Let me go to the target definition. Let me go to the target definition and clear this first. Here I would like this as a flat file. Say okay. Once I save this, when I come back here, I can get rid of this. Let me delete this and use the flat file target, just not to change the output of my target. And let me connect this total sal here. Now on this newly created target, I'm adding one new port, and let me call this as sequence. Let's keep the sequence as integer. Apply this, say okay, and save. Now when I come back here, I have the sequence. Now to populate the sequence, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the sequence generator transformation, and I'm going to connect the next val. I'm going to connect this next val port with this sequence. So you can do that. And once this is done, so basically again, as I said, next val port is going to be some values. If you come here, the current value, let's say 1, and if I make change here in the increment by value as 10, so the first value will be 1, second will be 11, third will be 21, and keep on incremented by 10. So this is the sequence I'm going to get. And just for our understanding purpose, let me again go here and let me rename this port for the column. So this is my NXT val, and let me add another port to this, and let me call this as sequence curval. It's also going to be an integer. Apply this, okay, save this, and now see the magic. So I am connecting this curval port to this sequence curval. Once I have this ready, let me save this. My transformation looks something like this now. Now I'm going to create a workflow for this. Let me launch the workflow manager. Oh, I see some disconnect here. Let me still see that if I can get this or not. Okay, so I think I need to restart my VM because it is giving me some memory issue, but that's fine. So far you have understood that I have created this sequence generator transformation and I am yet to run this. So for that, I will have to first restart this. So just give me a moment. Let me try this again if it works. So it is not working. Okay, good that my this particular mapping is saved. So let me restart this. Just a minute. Here you could have used uh, the stored procedure transformation, which we are using here as a unconnected way as well. But let me, I have used the existing stored procedure. So that's why I kept it in the connected fashion. By the way, right, last time when I created this mapping, I have already created the workflow for this. It's still not getting connected. Just let me see whether the server is up or not. Okay, so server looks to be up now. And I see one service is down. Again, that is a different service. So this is not the service which I am using. This is also not the service which I am using. So this should be fine. Let me again see if it is getting connected. Yes, now it is connected. Now if I launch the workflow manager, and if I see, you can see that the sequence generator workflow is created. Now come here, and if I remember, my source is a Oracle source, and it is available in EMP SRC with the name called EMP SRC. I will quickly see where this Oracle data is. So for that, I am connecting externally to demo RNW SRC. And here I was trying to select star from EMP underscore SRC. Okay, so the values are available on demo underscore RNW underscore SRC table. So for that, again, going back here and giving the connection for the mapping. So here what I'm going to give is property value dollar source. I'm going to use the demo source connection object. Target I do not need to give. On the mapping level, come and in this sequence generator, give the value as dollar source. Click on OK. Target is a flat file, no need. This is a stored procedure. Here my stored procedure is available in dollar source connection object. Change this, and in the sequence generator I cannot change anything other than tracing level from the workflow. Click on apply. Okay, save this. And now if you I have to do one more change here. On this target, my file is going to be created with the name called ffemptrg.output. So let me name this as txt, and I'm going to change the output directory of this. And let me see whether I have a temp folder on my okay, so let me quickly create a temp folder on my desktop. It's empty right now. So let's see. Let me copy this property. Let me copy the path of this. And here I'm going to use this to create the flat file or to create the target. So for this, and say OK to this, save this, and now let me execute this workflow. Now it is succeeded. So let me quickly go and see what is being created in this folder. Okay, so nothing got created. So there should be some problem here. Now if I see this here, so it is saying that 5 output rows got added, and where it is applied, that I'm not very sure. So let me see that, because temp folder looks to be empty to me. Let me again see the property here. So let me quickly change two things here. Number one, I'm going to use the target table folder for this example. So let me give this path, and let me name this as sequence generator trans.txt. Say apply. Okay, save this and let me re-execute this again. So now you can see this file got created. So I will tell you what was the problem earlier. So it could be the problem because of the space. So if you remember, my path was having something documents space and space settings where the desktop was there. And when I changed this, it created this. And now you can see the values are 1. It added 51 and 61 for this as a next val and cur val. The reason was initially for the very first run, it actually created the 6 records uh, starting from 1, 11, 12. But when I run it second time, it actually got the current value as 51 and it took it as the first value. So if I don't want that to happen, you will have to come to this designer, and if you come and see the properties now, if I refresh this once, let me do that, or you can see it from this. And if you see the sequence generator property, by the way, here you cannot change, so that is fine. But next time if I re-log in or refresh the data on the designer, so if I close this, let's say, and relaunch my designer again, you can see the current value is right now at 101. The reason is this next val, this is the current val for 101 and it is now set in the current val. So next time if I run the same execution again, it will use this 101 from the current val and it will be used here in the sequence for next val port. And that is how the ports for next val port and the cur val port works. Hope this transformation is clear to you. If you have any questions, post your question in the comment section. If you like this video, press on the like button. With that, I will finish this tutorial. Thanks a lot.